Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for the brand new video, and the vocal cords are nearly failing me, which would be a pleasure for a lot of people, but thankfully this team tonight hasn't. Ladies and gentlemen, as we're here to not only talk about a fantastic win over what was a tough, hard to beat USG side who, coming into this game versus Rangers, was one of the most informed teams in the Europa League. 10 points picked up from a possible 12. They were red hot and cooking, but they came into the furnace which is a Thursday night in that magical stadium. So not only did we overcome that, but somehow, some way, we have managed to find ourselves in the top 8, gaining an automatic qualification spot for the knockouts, which is simply an incredible achievement considering where we are, who's available, where's needing to go, and the places that's needing to be filled on the park. And aye, ladies and gentlemen, this is a big night for this football club. I'm a happy guy. And you know, come here for a second, because honestly, I cannot be more convinced of a European magic from this football club. Because again, not only did we win the day versus a tough side, but to have everything fall in our favour with the results we needed from elsewhere, with the way that we went in to this game, with the players getting played anywhere. We just played 90 odd minutes in European football with James Henry playing centre back in a revolving door at right back, but we still managed to come out the other side with the best and biggest prize we could have got the night, and that's something to be buzzing about. And I guess as I slouch a little bit forward, it is something we need to tip the old cap to our manager Phil Clement, because again, you might not like him, you might not love him, you might be indifferent towards him, but at the same time, when you sit and you look at what he's managed to manage over this Europa League campaign, is damn impressive. The league football and all, let's put that to one side for a minute. Let's just actually bask in what is this positivity, the fact that Clement's been able to take this Rangers team, again with the injuries, as long as you actually want to break down. There's been about 12-13 players missing for each and every single game, which sounds made up, but it's no. If you've watched the preview videos, we've read all the names, but it's not just beyond that. You've then got players no registered, the likes of the Hagis, the likes of the Dinos, the likes of Couldnt and the Salah being one of our brightest sparks at the centre-back spot. He's not been available. So to take what is a really wounded animal in a Rangers team and hold it together somehow and get over the line to finish top 8, which every single Rangers fan, in my personal opinion, you can disagree in the comment section below, if you'd have offered us to finish in 8th when this Europa League draw was done with the likes of Manchester United, Spurs, Lazio, Roma, Ajax, all these teams in there, if you could have been handed a top 8, every single winner said that's a tremendous success. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've achieved that success despite everything going around and wrong around the place, which is sad. Again, I've been quick to criticise the manager, so I'm going to be as quick to praise and give him a wee bit back in. That is an incredible achievement, and it's one I almost didn't believe considering the mess we're in, because despite our troubles and despite being down to the barest of bare bones, this team is stuck together and showed a togetherness which is simply incredible and deserves some praise in my opinion. The way the players were played out of position today, the likes of James Henry, you had Leon King playing at right back for a wee while, you had Ross McCausland coming in, that was wild, we'll talk about it a bit later, but again, buying into it and giving everything. You had Igman doing a shift at left wing and he wasn't as great as he has been, but again, he had burst his pan in so many times, you know what I mean? People will pick holes in some of his passes later on in the game, but you're just going to ignore the 60-70 yard sprints to come down and help Jeff with his defending down the left hand side. You had boys busting their pan in the likes of Nico Raskin and Diamande carrying Barami on their back tonight like a school bag, giving them the opportunity and running themselves into the ground was incredible, and everybody just gave everything the day, and that deserves a hell of a lot of praise, because again, we're top 8, but we've finished above the likes of Ajax, we finished above the likes of Roma, Fenerbahce under Jose Mourinho, one of the dark horses for the tournament. You've got the Real Sociedad, somebody like, they like them, the likes of Nice was talked about, Dynamo Kiev knocked us out of Champions League qualifier, we've finished above them, we've even finished above this tiny little side in Turkey, I believe they're called, is it Galatasaray? Never heard of them, but we still finished above all of them, and aye, I'm going to keep saying it, I'm going to probably repeat myself several times, but that deserves a bit of credit. I'm pretty sure I also forgot to say Porto. You know what I mean? One of the European favourites over the last couple of years. Yeah, we finished above them playing the majority of their games. With players playing anywhere and barely having one centre-back fit for the tournament. This is an incredible achievement, in my personal opinion, and something I'm very, very delighted for. But again, we're not only going to hear to talk about the progression and getting through to the knockouts, getting that sweet, sweet money to this club. We're also here to talk about the game itself, which again was a bit of a roller coaster. At certain parts being a drag and a mess, at others, but aye, this was absolutely crazy, ladies and gentlemen, because we went into this game limping into a starting 11, right? Having to play players out of position, and after 30 minutes of football, less than that actually, Leon King then limps off the park. McCausland, a right winger who again isn't everybody's cup of tea, and probably rightly so with how poor he's been recently, is then playing right back. And it's when you start to look at that and you start to really break that down, we've got one centre back in our back four again for another game in Europe, but somehow, someway, we won. And that's where I want to go next, ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk about Big Robin Proper, who I do talk about a lot on this channel. When it does go wrong, it does come back to bite me, and you know what. But I think I like Robin Proper. I better turn my laptop down, it's about to set on fire because I'm speaking that fast. I like Robin Proper. I really think I do. Now, I know he's hit and miss and he will frustrate in several aspects, but look at the position this man's in, right? He's sitting, just coming to the football club, having to deal with his up and down style form, deal with his niggling injuries he's been carrying, but what's around him is a strong support system to help him settle in at a club and help him get back to his best football. No, it's a complete carnival, a chaos, because he's got a goalie behind him that's punching balls into the back of it and getting chipped by headers. You've got James Henry Tavernier, who spent the majority of his career being crucified for his defending. That's his centre-back partner. On the right hand side of that, you've had a revolving door again of the likes of Ridvan, who's a left back getting played out of position. You've then had Leon King, you've had the likes of Ross McCausland. These are midfielders we're talking about here, and we can't even speak to his left back in Jeffney because of the language barrier. So at the same time as, again, we are very quick to criticise and be very, very negative, is Proper actually doing alright considering the badness that's in and around him? I think if we're being fair, he is doing alright. Long may it continue. There's certainly aspects of his game he needs to get stronger at, but again, he got booked for winning a header today. Maybe the referee was just surprised they finally went ahead and won one, but I was very, very impressed, especially with just the madness that's in and around them. But there's another two players I want to talk about. I want to talk about, well, I've started with the centre-back. I want to jump to the other side of the park. I want to talk about CD number 9, who for me was great today. You know what I mean? I like his work rate, I like his effort, and for me his overall game was probably the best performance he's put in a Rangers shirt. I really think it was, especially the later the game went on, where we've seen Dessers start to lose the ball, and then all this stuff. There wasn't any of that the day he was really tuned in, and later on in the game he's holding the ball, he's cradling it in, he's getting on the ball, he's winning his free kicks, he's coming back and helping the defender. I don't know what's finally clicked in this laddie, but we're seeing the best of Cyril Dessers, right? I know he maybe missed a chance here or there, he should have scored a header in the first half, but his work rate and his ability to pick out the second goal, which would have been Czerny's goal to wrap up the game, was great. But his overall play was sensational, and it was a selfless performance for Cyril Dessers, and that's no something we've said a hell of a lot of. Now, it doesn't right a lot of wrongs that's happened in the past, and I know people are finished with him, but all we can talk about is what we're recently seeing. We're here to talk about the game, and if you talk about this game, you've got to talk about Big CD number 9, who was very, very good, in my personal opinion, as was someone I'm going to pick out that everyone's going to groan and say, oh no, here it goes again. But I need to talk about Raskin. I really like this laddie. I really, really do. And the way he went about his business today, and I'm just so thankful he's in the midfield. I thought Diomande was good as well and really selfless in the game, and he worked his arse off again. The two of them had to, because Barami was just there in the middle of the park. But I really feel like if you take Raskin out this midfield, out this Rangers team, there's a real lack of energy and appetite and just his aggression and everything he does, right? His interceptions and winning the ball, if you stay with the game recap over the next 10 minutes, you'll hear how many attacks he started with these interceptions, but this might sound daft, right? But one of the things that I really like about Raskin is, see when he's in the middle of the park, see when he gets fouled, or he sees Son Hatton or one of his other players gets fouled, he's right here to the referee and right in his ear, and he's counting out how many fouls it's been, he's counting out how many this he's been, and he's letting the referee know. And it's been so damn long since we've had somebody in the middle of the park constantly in the ear of the referees, because that is like a captain, if you will. That is what we've seen across the other side of the city. It is getting on the back of the referee, it is reminding them constantly. You can say what you want about it, but that's what we need, because we've been far too nice for far too long. Nice guys finish last. We've got to have a wee bit of the nasty side for us, and I just love the fact that Raskin's constantly at that referee, counting out, letting him know how many times he's there. He'll probably pick up a couple yellows speaking to the ref the way he does, but I just really like this guy, and for me he's growing in the shirt every single game. And again, if you take him out there, I think there's a massive void in quality and just overall ability. But he's also got that next level, he's starting to get that bit of persona, if you will, and he's starting to do the other side of the game which we really lack in the middle of the old park. But as this video is going to get uploaded about 1 or 2 in the morning by the time it all gets done and dusted and everything like that, I'm just going to go ahead and speak about the game. We're going to relive this game of football, right? And you're going to hear everybody that I've maybe not mentioned so far, because again, looking at this starting 11, you had a right back that can't defend at centre back, and you had a young centre back out at right back, which, underlining for Leon King, I think it does show that Clement doesn't fancy him as a right back. Now, he has trained a lot. We've spoke about it, CDM and right back. We've talked about that over the last couple of years on the channel, and maybe there is a potential for him to play at right back, but I'm not really sure if this kid's going to have much of a future at Rangers, unfortunately. And I think the way he went off the park, and you could see he was hiding his face because he was obviously emotional, he's crying. This is a guy that's been watching other people get picked. He's been watching Clinton Nassala be given his professional debut away from him at Dundee, him, who's got Champions League experience, who's played in games. He's had to sit there in the cold, know him getting a pick or a selection to play Fraserburgh in the Cup at Ibrox. His head must be in absolute bits, and then when it is to the barest of bare bones, when he's finally forced to be given an opportunity, he ends up getting concussed, then getting up and winning a header, being brave, doing the exact thing we want Leon King today. Get up and impose himself, ends up knocking pretty much himself out, probably seeing stars, but he stayed on the park. And maybe the cruelness is, when he did eventually go down saying he was getting blurry vision, it's a brilliant defensive tackle for Leon King, but then ends up needing to go off the park, and he was greeting and he was obviously trying to hide it, and that's just no nice to see, because I think he knows that was his chance to really try and grab any part of a Rangers future. And again, this game can be so cruel, and I think it was very cruel on young Leon today, who ended up getting substituted off early, and that is heartbreaking. But again, that then means we need to shuffle the decks early in the game of football, and that is where that Ross McCausland substitution goes. But then you start to see the likes of Eggman go down for a bit, then Diamandi's going a bit, and I'm sitting there getting nervous, you know what I mean? I'm at the sidelines like this, ladies and gentlemen, just in case I'm needed for 10-15 minutes. I'm getting at the old, you know what I mean? Because he might be calling on me, you know what I mean? I'm sitting here Googling to see if I can wear the hat in the Europa League. I don't know what could happen. That's how far and bare to the bones we actually are. I'm knackered. Am I Tom Lawrence? I'm knackered, ladies and gentlemen. But getting back to the game recap, that was pretty much the biggest talking point, that injury substitution. You know what I mean? You had an Eggman, beautiful touch with the outside where he drives, tries to pull it back to Czerny, but it's well defended. But that was the game, you know what I mean? A shuffled, held together Rangers side was broken away again. And I think if you asked any Rangers fan if they were confident about keeping a clean sheet up to that point, anyway, with the mess we were in, I don't think many people were. It was expecting a goal, it was just how many. But to give credit to this Rangers team that was again battered down and was getting asked to do a lot of ugly stuff, they actually just gave everything. Now, we've talked about players throwing managers under the bus and sort of half-arsing it and no being baller in it. We've seen it all together over the last couple of years, but you've got to say this Europa League campaign, especially that game there, and even the performance at Spurs and the performance at Man United, they've gave everything they've had, and as a fan, I can accept that. Even when it doesn't go your way, if you're seeing your team give absolutely everything, you can get behind that, and that's how you get a fan base back on side. That's how you get a fan base back in a manager. That togetherness they showed in Dare I say it was almost Walter-esque in Europe, and I'm meaning that lightly, and I'm not dragging it into a conversation saying he's Walter Smith or anything like that, but I'm talking about like Stephen Davis playing it right mid. I'm talking about Stephen Whittaker playing it right mid. I'm talking about some of the performances I saw with players getting played out of position, but nae heeds drop them, and nae work rate drop them, and nobody gone, and huffs and throwing managers under the bus. People came in and played in a position today, and they gave it everything. Whether it was great, you know what I mean, McCausland was poor, you had Barami was probably poor, Igamani was poor-ish in the second half. It wasn't all sunshines and rainbows, but they gave everything. I think when you've got a team playing like that, you're always going to have a chance to open the scoring at the other end, and that's exactly what we did round about the 20th minute. Now, it is a short corner. Tavernier to Czerny, Czerny's touch. Czerny, oh, by the way, I didn't even think I mentioned it. Czerny returned for the death, you know what I mean? He's had more returns than The Undertaker. I couldn't believe it. Somebody pulled a hammy last week. He's back already, must be on the old magic coffee, but he's in. Poor touch to Tav, but skipper Tav, man. James Henry, beautiful cross. I think is it he's right, actually, wait a minute. Yeah, it is. He's right, ladies and gentlemen. Whips it in. I almost gave him credit for a lefty swing there, but whipped it right into the back post. Proper's occupying two defenders. Leaves wee Raskin in there to bang in the header, and I love to see that for Nico Raskin. And it just shows you how weird and sometimes wonderful 2025 is, right? Because we're going into a game in European football with James Henry Tavernier at centre-back. We're seeing Ross McCausland play at right-back. We're scoring set pieces, and Nico Raskin is rattling headers like he's Miroslav. Closer, how weird of a year this actually is. But the wee Belgian bangs it in and sets us off. It's a beautiful start. But it's got to be said, it wasn't exactly great after that, as the standard did start to drop us again. It was rough as toast. I mean, I think Ross McCausland and Barami maybe passed their same teammates 3 times the day they had the ball, but 22 of them otherwise, and it just was breaking down quite a lot of it, and it was starting to get a wee bit of pressure. They started to whip some balls, and it started to look a mess. Of course it is, ladies and gentlemen. We've got one player that can header the ball, and that's Proper. And he's 50-50 getting off the actual deck. And anyway, a cross comes in. Proper, I think, gets sort of manhandled or gets pulled a little bit. But this one's about James Henry. I can't really blame Proper here. As he comes in, he's trying to win the header. He kind of flops. Is there a slight touch? Aye. Is it a foul? No, because if that's a foul, Dessers or Maguire's a foul. And we all know that, wasn't he? So Tavernier needs to be bigger, needs to be braver, but it's no his game. Ends up falling to the USG player, and he ends up dropping to Ivanovic, who we spoke about yesterday, being a danger man, sniffing out the challenges. He tucks away, he's away knocking air corner flags, he's getting abuse, he's apologising, he's putting flags in, and then after that embarrassment of smacking the corner flag out and having to apologise to the Rangers fan, he then finds out that his goal's been chopped off. And I go back and I look at this, and I want you to stay with me for a second, right? Was it pish poor defending for James Henry, or was it 4D chess? Stay with me for a second, right? Because he knows he's not got it up there, so he flops like a fish, so hits the player behind him, then goes through to Ivanovic. If Tavernier touches that at any part, that's a goal. But he's playing, you know what I mean? He sees the game differently, and he's let the boy touch it before it goes through to Ivanovic, and it's rightly chopped off by about that being offside. Skipper does what Skipper does. But after that brief little bit of excitement, there's none. It happens for about 10-15 minutes after that. There was one time where they get the ball played in. Is it Rafi? I can't remember who it is. He tries to run in behind, but he is offside anyway, but he rolls it wide. Good defensive line. You could give credit to the makeshift back line for playing the offside trap. And then you go to about the 43rd minute with Cyril Dessers got 3 men on him. You know what I mean? They're ripping him. He's ripping away. He somehow wriggles. He nutmegs one, nutmegs the other, but it's ended up defended just when you're thinking, oh God, Dessers really fancies that. And then again from the set piece, we end up whipping it in. Comes back, Raskin wins the ball. I believe he chips it right back in. It drops to Dessers. Beautiful left-footed finish. It is 2-0, but the offside flag is up. And this one, again, just like USG's goal, is rightly ruled for offside by about that. Balance, we call it. But the first half does end with a bit of a flurry of attacks from USG. A lot of them from being set pieces and corners. They missed 3 or 4 clear-cut opportunities for corners. We definitely rode our luck in that occasion. But the biggest example of luck from this team up to this point of the game, and unfortunately it wasn't, or I should say fortunately it was, in the last, was around about the 47th minute. McCausland just gets absolutely roasted. He gets taken a walk down that side. The boy whips a ball in. It should be 1-1. It should be tapped into the back of net, but somehow, some way, the attacking midfielder from USG smacks what is a free shot 3 yards out just freaking wide. So aye, we survived that scare, but the defence was all over the place, especially wee Ross, and they were just licking their lips and attacking. So that half-time whistle was delightfully received by everyone that's ever associated themselves with Rangers. And my thoughts did continue to go to Ross McCausland because he had picked up a silly yellow card. He was involved in a couple of things, and I'm getting, oh no, I'm getting Jefty versus Dynamo Kiev vibes here. I was nervous, but I guess I may have sounded a little bit harsh to him so far, but if you watch the video, you understand why I'm saying it's never personal. I want these young lads to succeed, and if you watch his channel, you'll know that, but you wish they did the day. But the best thing you can give him, and I want to give him a compliment, is he didn't go and give himself an opportunity to get sent off, and that shows a different level of maturity as well. Being a young lad, playing out of position, etc, etc, in that magnitude. He never done what Jeff done versus Dynamo Kiev, where he's got up, whether it should have been a second jail or not. Ross never put himself in a single position to hurt himself and hurt the team. So I just want to give the kid a wee bit of credit at least, so he showed a bit of maturity of that and understanding where to no go and where to go with this interesting referee who got a wee bit card happy later on in the game. But the second half does start again with USG on the front foot. They get down the left hand side of Rangers, which would have been Jeff's side. He gets took for a walk, the ball comes in, Tavernier is sleeping at the back post here, but thankfully Ivanovic fires it just wide, and we're very thankful he didn't have his shooting boots on, because the guy could have had a hat-trick easily the day. The biggest and most glaring example of that is what happened just 3 minutes later after that opportunity. It is a ball, right, it's brilliantly played, right? They get round the goalkeeper and go, oh no, but then James Henry comes out with one of these, ladies and gentlemen, a wee cheeky slider, and he keeps it out, but it rebounds back to USG. Like, oh no, we're not going to get denied a James Henry slide goal line clearance. But thankfully, again, after the ball drops to Ivanovic, he tries to be too cute, tries to chip Butland, who's on his knees, and he balloons it air the bar. And honestly, it's great to have fun today, and we're excited. And of course we are, we're finished in the top 8, but this game could have went far, far worse for us, you know what I mean? It's good giving praise, it's good being excited, but by God, did they miss several opportunities. But again, I've said to you many, many times right here on this channel, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And a lot of this game, that's exactly what we are. That's the biggest example. And then we go ahead and do what usually happens against us. You know what I mean? A team missing clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities. The number 9 missing sitters. How does that story normally unfold for us as a Rangers fan base? The sucker punch at the other side, but thankfully the fortunes were flipped and we got the sucker punch. And to be fair, I'm going to give a lot of credit to Dessers here. So we do some little bit manic defending, but Raskin gets on. I think he plays it to Barami. Barami then plays it to Cyril Dessers. Dessers just bombs it down the left-hand side. Disney rush, Disney panic, Disney fake shot it. He just waits and waits, pulls a beautiful ball into the mixer, and Czerny running onto it, hits it with the left, keeping it low, tucking it away. It is 2-0, and that genuinely feels like we've stole that there. But it's nice they finally feel it, rather than being the other side, watching things be stolen. We done the business. It's 2-0. It's pretty much game, set and match if we can control and keep things calm. But before the manic and before the tension, we nearly burst the back in net a couple more times. One of them, a couple extra crosses comes in. It's nearlies, it's maybes. But the biggest opportunity for Rangers to add a third was after Raskin brilliantly wins the ball in the middle of the park. He gets absolutely nailed, but the ball drops to Czerny, who digs out a righty, buries it. It looks like it's gone right into the bread basket, but it hits the post and comes back out. Incredible effort, and it's why we continually say this guy's actually good with his right foot. Do you see what he's actually capable of? Think of the goals he's scored for us. Think of what you've seen. He's actually good with his right foot. I just think sometimes he forgets because he's obviously more comfortable on his wonderful effort, deserved to go in, but it never. And then when you didn't start taking that, and when you didn't get that, you start to worry again, because every time USG go forward, they're making opportunities, they're taking and getting into dangerous areas. Because again, look at the back four. Of course they are. Changes were needing to be made because it started to get a wee bit nervous. Czerny then comes out. Brilliant to see him recovering so quick and giving what he gave in the game. And Big Soapy Suitor came on the park. And honestly, I was buzzing, because not only is it good to see Big John, obviously you never want to see a Rangers player injured and missing some game time, whether he's your favourite or not. Good to see Big John recovering. But also I thought, right, we've now got another centre-back on the park. Tavernier will move to right-back. We should be a bit more defensively sound. How did we get worse for opportunities in and around our box? I simply didn't get it now. It's not just on John, and I'm not saying, oh, John came on and it all went to crap, because he actually done some nice things defensively, you know what I mean? A big slide challenge, one of them where he won the balls, they tried to play behind him, but again, USG was just licking the lips, putting balls in the mixer, and we still cannot deal with that. There were some ugly moments and some worry moments, again mostly from set pieces, long throws, corners, etc, but we're surviving them. Egeman has a shot from range after a nice 1-2 with, I think it's Cyril Dessers actually, but that's just wide, but then he started to tire, the out boy started to go, it started to just become, oh no, here we go. We end up making more substitutions as Barami and Egeman both come off the park, and Nizzy and Lovelace end up coming on just to add a bit of injection. The young team, again, the youth players, the B team, if you will, is back on the surface at Ibrox, and again, I'm not blaming them either, but again, USG was really starting to put in the pressure. And then there was an interesting foul, and somebody can let me know in the comment section below, because this didn't look like a foul to me. I'm pretty sure Raskin wins this ball cleanly, but he's then booked for it as well. You can let me know if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll hold my hands up, but it doesn't look like a foul. But anyway, from the foul, they end up whipping it into the mixer, and Kevin McAllister ends up rattling a header in to the back of net from a pretty much outside the box, or just in and around, that somehow chips Jack Butler. Now, it's a brilliant header, absolutely. But they ask your 6'4" goalkeeper, 6'5" goalie, should he be getting beaten by a header for there? I didn't think so. But after a very, very, very lengthy VAR check, it's then proven to be onside as James Tavernier is slightly behind the defensive. How does it get worse for his defensive line when he's on right back rather than he's being centre back? All right, it's because Robin Proper's talking about him. Remember, communication is so damn important, right? But anyway, keeping him onside. Brilliant goal for Home Alone, whatever you want today, and then it gets really, really nippy because we never had any control of the game. After that lengthy VAR check, the nerves were just in the stadium, the game gets played, and they should burst the back of the net again. Ladies and gentlemen, just 5 minutes after making it 2-1, this game should be 2-2, and we should be slinking down to the, doing the table, because the ball comes in, we aren't big enough. I think he's riding John Suter like Seabiscuit, if I'm honest with you. He does it back across, it drops to the number 14 that I'm completely blanking on his name, but Raphael, I think it is, he ends up ballooning it air the bar, and it is an absolute sit, and you think, right, here we go. But then the 92nd minute comes and they play the ball, and wee Raskin just spawns out of nowhere with a brilliant interception, but it ends up falling to USG, who tries a cheeky curler, but that's air the bar. Then we've got the ball going forward as we hit a long ball to Dessers. It's brilliant to hold off his man, but he's saved, sort of 1v1 with the goalkeeper, isn't good enough, and it's a very, very easy save by the keeper, and you start to think, no, Dessers has done everything right today. Didn't let this be a game that we can sit and trace back to Dessers missing a sitter, or missing, it's not a sitter actually, missing a golden opportunity to end the game. Didn't let it be that. They just let the guy have one good day. And thankfully, Lady Luck, thankfully, Thursday night sprinkled some magic on us, and we weren't punished despite the worries, and despite me, for the majority of that second half, especially 83 minutes onwards, being able to pick this up with the old arse cheeks. I was finally able to unclench and be excited at the prospect of us possibly finishing in the top 8, because we've done our job. Did anybody else do theirs? And then the news ends up coming through, you know what I mean? You're checking everything, you're like, is it? What you heard? Aye, we are in, and that's when the excitement comes in. Again, that's why I'm so buzzing today. I know it's not great, I know everything's no fix, but you've got to be able to enjoy the highs, and this European campaign has been so damn impressive. When you look at who we've had to play, the points we've needed to get, who's been in that group stage to come away with a top 8 finish and automatic qualifications with teams you'd argue are Champions League size, especially like say Ajax and Porto and Roma and all that. That is an incredible achievement, and that's when I do tip the cap, because it's not been an easy job for Clement, especially in Europe. Now again, some of it has been his own doing it, no doing with Hadji, etc, no registered Danilo, all that. People want to go on. I just want to give him a wee bit of praise tonight, you know what I mean? It might turn again in Scottish football, but I'm enjoying the moment, and I think he deserves a wee bit of praise. That's damn impressive to qualify in the top 8 with us having our best players, never mind the carnage and the chaos we've seen with the injuries that's dismantled this club. So aye, proud of the team, proud of the manager, and I'm excited to see who we possibly get as a potential setup versus Sam Lammers FC. We might see Dessers versus Sam Lammers again, ladies and gentlemen. But until then, I can't wait. I just want to get this video out because I just want to see your opinions. I want to see your excitements. Who stood out to you and why? Who was your man of the match? For me, there's arguments to be. It could have even been James Henry. You know what I mean? He finished with not only a goal line clearance, but obviously brilliant bit of defending here and there. He goal and assist could be him. But I think Proper, Raskin, and Dessers were the three that really outstanding to me on the day. You can let me know your opinions down there in the comment section below. But until next time, I've been Sejo999. I've been Sejo999. I've been Sejonovo992. I'm glad to say we'll be going on another European adventure together right here and there. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. All the best and goodbye.